Hi, this is Earl Hager, and we're back with webinar number 3 of 4 on the process of open innovation. This question that we're going to talk about in this seminar is, where's the return on investment? Where is the ROI? The readings that I've seen and all the write-ups talk about how important it is to be doing investments and how important it is to be doing open innovation and how innovation is going to change the companies. And we will always go back in time and we will talk about how great it was to be doing it at Intel back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and how great it was to be doing it at Microsoft, and how great it was to be doing it at Cisco Systems and 3M and all these other places. But we don't see a couple of things. We don't see what it's like to do it now. We don't see what it's like to do it with under the current marketplace. And we don't see the failures. Tolstoy talked about the all families being happy in the same way, but families are unhappy in all different ways. Well, failure is different in each location, and we don't really spend enough time looking at failure and understanding the role of managing innovation in terms of the return on investment, and understanding the role of failure. The important thing to understand about entrepreneurs is that an entrepreneur will take on 10 projects and expect 2 or 3 to go to a high level of success. Within a corporate environment, a series of objectives is usually established, and the expectation is you set 5 objectives and you complete 5 objectives, and that's how you're evaluated, is on the successful completion of this 5 out of 5. When you talk about managing risk, you're almost betting on last night's horse races, where you're trying to say, well, I would bet on these 3 horses last night because I think they're going to do really well, and you're only picking the winners. It doesn't work that way in real life. You've got to be able to accept the risk. You've got to be able to understand that what you're dealing with in the return on investment is a pool, and you're looking at 10 technologies, and you're looking at a few of them paying off, and that few driving the ROI for the entire market basket of technologies. So where do you find the ROI? If you're in a collaborative strategy where you're working with an organization, you find the ROI because you're going to try to get the product to the marketplace sooner. If you're dealing with a patented item, the calculation isn't on what's the first year's revenue worth, but rather how much revenue have you gained in year 17 of the patent at the end, because that's really where you're adding more time to your revenue stream, is at the end of the patent, because you can pick up a few extra weeks, a few extra months, a few extra years because you got to the marketplace early. There's your ROI for your collaborative strategies. In the area of risk management, you're basically trying to expand the number of ideas that you're working with. You offload the risk. You take on a partner. You take on someone who will help you take it to the marketplace. You will work with someone who perhaps has a sales force that will be effective in moving the technology outward. You have a lot of different options and a lot of different features, but your idea is you want to be able to take more technologies to the marketplace and have more ideas out there under evaluation. And another strategy, which is take 4 similar compounds and look for one of them that is going to be successful, rather than just trying to do one at a time. This also ties into the risk management of recognizing that there are different stages to the project, and each stage has a gate where you say, do we continue, do we not continue, and really being harsh about enforcing those gates, and really being harsh about saying this project has failed. You also get into an area of processes and services where you're trying to find a return on investment, so that you can look at an outside company and say, can you help us with this? Can you expand our reach of capabilities because you have extra people with expertise in this area, so we can do more testing, we can expand the phase 1 testing, we can expand the evaluation process, and we can get more services out there so that we can cut down the number of steps or run certain steps at the same time rather than separately. This all comes into product versus pipeline development, and increasing your pipeline, increasing the number of products that are out there is key to the growth of the company. The more options that you have out there, the longer term growth of the company. Now, the stock market wants to see news. If you promise a 5% return on the income and you continue to maintain that 5%, your stock is going to stay at one point. It's when you can increase that number that the stock market responds and the stock price increases. Even for smaller companies, this is important, because as you're going out to investors, as you're going out to your customers, you need to have a new story for them. You need to be able to take your pipeline and your opportunities and have something new to report every quarter, every 6 months. We have a new idea, we have a new product, we demonstrated this product works in different areas. But you're getting more and more out there, and you're bringing more news to your clients and more news to the stock market on a regular basis. This is very, very critical to the growth of the company, and another part of the evaluation of the return on investment is to ensure that you have news on a regular basis. If you're a small company, it's news as an excuse to call your customers up with a different idea, a different product, and follow up on other things. Because you can't keep going back to the same people with the same story all the time. They're going to ask you to leave. But if you go in there and you say, I have a new idea, we have a new product, we have a new something, and you have a new something every 6 months, you'll attract their interest. The final area is understanding the difference between disruptive and sustaining technologies. Disruptive is a new idea. Disruptive is a change. Disruptive is actually harder to plan for within a corporate structure, because it's the disruptive technology is going to have a different return on investment and may not be directly traceable as the example of doing something for a sustaining technology. In a sustaining technology, you're adding to the product line, you're adding an extra feature, you're adding a slight change to the product that you can say, well, this cost and this change in sales, and this is going to be worthwhile. And so you do these different stages, and you can expand the lifetime of the product. So there's your difference between disruptive and sustaining technology and the challenges within the ROI area. All this ties into open innovation, because you can do all this by collaborating outside the company and recognizing that the marketplace has resources that will help you grow and help you expand your pipeline and help you expand your options and help you add to the stories that you have to tell your customers so the company grows in the long run. But you got to find the ROI, you've got to find the numbers, you've got to make the numbers work on a regular basis. If you don't do that, it's all good talk and it's all good stories, but the bottom line is the company needs to make money, the company needs to grow, and you've got to find a justification for your decisions. We have one more webinar on this project, and we'll follow up with you on the next webinar. Thanks.